For decades, the United States was the heart of the global travel dream. It was the country that defined adventure, where every skyline, every road, and every neon sign promised something bigger, louder, and more alive than anywhere else on Earth. From Hollywood's bright lights to New York's endless energy, from the beaches of Miami to the magic of Disney World, America wasn't just a destination. It was the destination. But somewhere along the way, that magic began to fade. Today, more and more travelers are canceling their trips, airports look emptier, and U.S. cities that once thrived on global visitors are quietly struggling to survive. Tourism, once one of the strongest symbols of America's influence, is showing cracks. And those cracks tell a deeper story about how the world now sees the United States. So let's uncover 10 powerful reasons why America's tourism decline reveals that the U.S. is no longer the world's most loved destination. Number 10. Skyrocketing costs. Let's start with the most obvious barrier, money. For many travelers, visiting the U.S. has simply become unaffordable. A family trip that used to be a dream now feels like financial punishment. Hotel prices have jumped by over 40% in major cities since 2020. Flights are expensive, restaurant meals cost more than fine dining in Europe, and tipping expectations add confusion and pressure. Even middle-class tourists from countries like Germany or South Korea say America has become too expensive to enjoy. The same budget that could buy a 2-week luxury stay in Thailand or Italy now barely covers a week in New York. The U.S. hasn't just priced itself high, it's priced itself out of reach. Number 9. Complicated visa rules. Before travelers even board a plane, they face a test of patience. The U.S. visa process is notorious for being one of the most complex and time-consuming in the world. For millions, it's not worth the effort. Lengthy interview waits, unpredictable approvals, and high fees make the process intimidating. Many travelers from South America, Africa, and Asia are turning to easier destinations, where getting a visa takes hours, not months. Meanwhile, countries like Japan, Portugal, and even Saudi Arabia are rolling out e-visas and instant entry programs, sending a clear message, we want you here. The U.S., on the other hand, still feels like it's saying, prove you deserve to visit. Number 8. Safety concerns and global perception. Ask travelers abroad what stops them from visiting America, and one word comes up again and again, safety. The U.S. now appears in headlines for reasons that make tourists uneasy: mass shootings, violent incidents, and unpredictable unrest. Even though the majority of America is peaceful, the global image being broadcast is one of danger and tension. Parents in Europe and Asia increasingly say they wouldn't let their kids travel to the U.S. alone. For a country once seen as a beacon of freedom and security, this shift is heartbreaking, and it's costing billions in lost tourism dollars each year. Number 7. Decline in hospitality. America used to be known for its warm smiles and welcoming attitude. But today, that legendary hospitality feels harder to find. Understaffed hotels, burnt-out service workers, and rising frustration in big cities have changed the tone. Tourists describe airport security as harsh, restaurants as confusing, and the general experience as impersonal. Add to that the tipping culture, something many foreigners find uncomfortable or even exploitative, and what used to be a warm welcome can now feel like a cold transaction. When hospitality fades, so does the desire to return. Number 6. Aging infrastructure. For a country that once set the global standard, the U.S. travel experience often feels outdated. Airports are crowded and dated, public transport is unreliable, and Wi-Fi coverage is inconsistent, shocking for the world's richest nation. While countries like Singapore, Qatar, and South Korea are unveiling futuristic airports that feel like art galleries, the U.S. is still trying to modernize terminals built in the 1970s. Even domestic travelers complain that flying across the U.S. feels more like a chore than an experience. Tourists expect America to look and feel like the future, but too often it feels stuck in the past. Number 5. Competition from emerging destinations. The global travel market has changed. Once upon a time, America stood almost alone as the land of excitement. But now the competition is fierce and global. Countries like Japan, Portugal, Thailand, and the UAE have reinvented tourism, offering beauty, safety, culture, and innovation, often at half the price. They've learned the art of creating value, comfort, and care, while America's tourism system remains tangled in bureaucracy and high costs. In today's world, travelers have options. And many are quietly choosing destinations that offer more for less, with smiles, not stress. Number 4. Political chaos and global image tourism thrives on stability. And stability is something the world no longer associates with America. From televised protests to bitter political debates, the U.S. looks, to many foreigners, like a nation constantly at war with itself. These images shape perception. When travelers see headlines about government shutdowns, protests, or angry divisions, they subconsciously choose somewhere that feels calmer, safer. Tourism is about emotion, and the emotion tied to the U.S. today is no longer excitement, it's unease. Number 3. Travel stress and cultural disconnect. Even for those who do visit, the experience can feel exhausting. Long immigration lines, aggressive customs inspections, strict security checks, and confusing travel rules create a sense of tension. Add to that the cultural misunderstandings, tipping expectations, confusing measurements, strict laws, and what should feel like an adventure can quickly feel like a test. The irony? Many travelers still love American culture, movies, music, fashion, but find the real experience of visiting the U.S. much less enjoyable than what they see on screen. Number 2. The power of the dollar. The U.S. dollar remains one of the strongest currencies in the world, but strength has a price. For global travelers, it makes America one of the most expensive places to visit. In 2025, the euro, yen, and peso all weakened against the dollar, meaning every hotel, every meal, every ticket now costs more for international guests. For many, it's simply not worth it anymore. Tourism thrives when people feel their money stretches far. But in America, even locals say travel has become a luxury only the wealthy can afford. Number 1. The lost magic. At the heart of it all, something far deeper has been lost. It's not just about prices or politics or paperwork. It's about feeling. For generations, America represented energy, freedom, and dreams. It was the place where the impossible felt possible, where people from around the world wanted to stand in Times Square, drive Route 66, or see the Grand Canyon with their own eyes. But somewhere along the way, that emotional connection faded. Now the dream feels distant, buried under bureaucracy, high costs, and global fatigue. People don't just travel for sights, they travel for stories. And the story America once told, the story of hope, no longer feels like the one it's living. Tourism isn't just an industry. It's a mirror, one that reflects how the world feels about a country. And right now, that reflection shows a nation struggling with its image, its identity, and its connection to the world. But this story isn't over. If America can remember what made it special, openness, diversity, and the promise of discovery, it could once again become a destination that inspires, not intimidates. Because in the end, the greatest journey America needs to take might not be across the map, but within itself. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It helps us tell more stories like this one.